We want to turn now to a key battleground race we showcased for you on the program yesterday as Democrats look to flip the House in November. Progressive activist William Lawrence beat out his two more moderate opponents in Michigan's 7th Congressional District. Lawrence was backed by Bernie Sanders and Abdul El-Sayed. He now faces incumbent Republican Tom Barrett in November as Democrats try to win back the Michigan House seat that once belonged to Senator Elissa Slotkin. It's gearing up to be one of the country's most important House races of the midterms. And joining me now is the winner of Michigan's 7th Congressional District Democratic primary, William Lawrence. Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming back to the program. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back to talk about this win. Let's talk about the results. If you look at the breakdown, the majority of the vote seemed to be divided between your two more moderate opponents. How did you read these results? Do you see it as a big win for the progressive movement, or do you see this as a tactical win, given that the vote was split?
I see it as a validation of the movement we've been building for the last year here in mid-Michigan. And what I see is actually very broad and strong support from throughout the district. Of course, we did very well in Lansing, but we also won in Livingston County and in Eaton County and in Clinton County, all places where people had doubts about how I and our movement would be able to perform. So I'm proud to say that we've built a grassroots campaign that is spanning every single corner of this district, and we're fired up to go beat Tom Barrett on November 3rd.
Let me ask you about the Senate race. Of course, that has gotten a lot of attention as well. Abdul El-Sayed did win. He endorsed you. He won by a smaller margin, though, than the polls would suggest he would have. Does that concern you about his chances going into the general election?
I'm not concerned about his chances. I know that he, as well as Representative Stevens, are both ready to undertake the work of uniting the party after what has been a very hard-fought primary. And I've been thrilled to see the statements from both of those campaigns, as well as other Democratic leaders across the state today, with a laser focus on beating Mike Rogers so we can defend this Senate district in November.
Well, let's go back to your race. This is what the National Republican Congressional Committee said about your race. The Democrats' path to the House majority is evaporating in real time. Every embarrassing defeat leaves them with a radical socialist nominee, an emptier bank account, and another must-win seat off the board. How do you plan to counter those attacks that progressive candidates are socialists?
You know, we're focused on issues here in the district that are appealing to people across the political spectrum. You know, saying no to AI data centers is an issue which is dramatically popular with Republicans and independent voters. Stopping these stupid wars. I mean, I talk to people every day who are Republican voters, and they say, I believe Trump when he said he wasn't going to start any more wars. And look at where we are now. An utter catastrophe in Iran that is causing gas and groceries to go through the roof. And Tom Barrett just voted to fund it. And meanwhile, the rest of life continues to get more expensive, like the cost of health care, which Tom Barrett has voted to increase through his vote on the big, ugly bill. And so you see this from the National Republicans because they know Barrett is a deeply flawed and weak nominee who has not done the job of representative, and they're trying to spin it however they can to cover up his weakness. But those of us on the ground here in mid-Michigan are very clear about that.
Well, let me get you to respond now to the DNC. The DNC releasing a statement last night congratulating you on your win, calling you a, quote, proven organizer, and saying the DNC is all in to help you. Do you welcome the DNC's support?
Absolutely. I welcome their support and the support of everybody around the country who understands that we need to put a check on this out-of-control president, stop these stupid wars, and stop these AI data centers. And the path to do all of that is by flipping Michigan's 7th district, because we know that Barrett is dramatically unpopular. He hasn't done the job, and he's going to go in November.
Well, you, during your campaign, called the Democratic Party establishment, quote, corporate funded and imperialist. Will you now accept financing from the Democratic National Committee and other establishment groups?
Certainly. We're all on the same page to defeat Tom Barrett and flip this district in November. And I look forward to welcoming the support of allies from across the Democratic ecosystem to get that done. I've said all along, and I stand by my pledge, not to take a single dime of corporate PAC money, but we're looking forward to raising the resources in every other way that is necessary to flip this district.
Do you worry that if you, in fact, accept financing from the DNC, for example, that would open you up to allegations of hypocrisy, given how outspoken you have been against corporate funding? Is that not yet another extension of it?
You know, I got this question a few times in the district, and what I've said to folks is that, you know, there's no purity in politics. And we know that there's so much big money in politics. And if I didn't want to have anything to do with raising money by the millions of dollars, I would have never gotten into this race. But the good news is that there are Democrats around the country who are contributing to organizations like the DNC and others for the sake of putting a check on this president's out-of-control agenda and lowering costs for people here in mid-Michigan. And I look forward to doing that work.
Well, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, who once held the seat you are running for, congratulated you on your victory. She's thrown her support behind you. You had called her a warmonger at one point. What do you say to some of her supporters who might have hesitation about throwing their support behind you, given the past tensions?
Well, I'm thankful to Senator Slotkin for her support and for her tireless work to represent Michigan and previously this district in Congress. And along the campaign trail since last August, you know, I've met a lot of people who said, you know, I just loved Alyssa Slotkin. I still love her. And I love you for the same reason, because you work hard, you show up in the entire district, including the big cities and the small towns, and you tell it like it is. You're not here to play partisan games in Washington, D.C. You're here to do the work to represent the people of mid-Michigan. So I think we've got a lot of common ground in our approach to politics, and I look forward to working with her to take this district back.
Well, just quickly before I let you go, you have said you would support Leader Jeffries as Speaker if you win, if Democrats win back the House in November. I know that's a lot of ifs. Some other progressive House candidates, though, have said they would not support him. Why do you think he would be the best leader for Democrats?
Well, I just believe that he's the one who can unite the entire party to elect a Democratic speaker and to have a historic tenure rolling back the negative impacts of the Trump and Barrett agenda and delivering real economic security for the American people. So I look forward to voting for him to be the next Speaker of the House.
All right, William Lawrence, thank you so very much. We will be watching your race very closely. We appreciate it. We're also going to talk to your opponent, Republican Congressman Tom Barrett, tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
Thank you again. It's a pleasure.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.